You'll never catch me, Crabs. Not when I shift into maximum overdrive. Hey!
Guess who's back? Back again. And no, it's not me, because you guys know I have to return every single time for a video. But no, it's our least favorite edgy Corvid friend. Wait, I completely forgot to do the intro for this video. What the hell am I doing? Hi there, my name is Nameless Deity, and today I'm going to be talking about Shadowraven Studios, hopefully for the actual genuine last time. I swear to God, if it isn't, I'm actually going to lose my mind. So consider this the end of Season 3, if you will. Probably the shortest season by far, but I'm pretty sure most people are probably glad that this is hopefully the actual end. I know that my last video, blah blah blah, titled The End, The Real End, blah, you get the point. But the thing is that of course, in standard Shadowraven fashion, he always has to come back at least within the month, otherwise he doesn't really fulfill anything in life, at least according to him. But here I am to basically let you know that his return was very short-lived, and he's planning on at least running away and changing his name. I'm not gonna say what his new name is, all I'm going to say is that he's going to like rebrand after he's actually taken a break from the internet, which genuinely I frickin' hope so, especially after this entire schism. In all honesty, I really cannot care any less, okay? But of course, this man has decided to return, and the massive schism that happened over the past, like 48-ish hours was by far one of the funniest things that has ever happened, and I just have to talk about it as just like a final grand hoorah to finally give a good send-off to this godforsaken series. For those of you who are wondering, where's the gameplay? Why am I taking a look at some random plague doctor on the screen yap on in front of a camera? Well, the main reason why is because most of my gameplay footage is just Terraria, and as much as you guys probably enjoy the Terraria gameplay, even I would probably get tired of it after like the 5th video, so yeah, we're gonna have to intersperse a few things with maybe some face cam stuff for whenever I feel it necessary. But hey, it allows me to articulate a little bit better, allows me to move around a little bit more, and allows me to throw hands with my audience. So how exactly did Shadowraven decide to return? Well, that's an interesting one. You see, one of my inside guys, which I will reveal towards the end of this video here, mainly as like a grand reveal as to who actually did this, because it's actually a little bit important here going forward, that this man genuinely believes that like I have alts everywhere, and I'll explain that entire thing a little bit later in the video as well, because, well, if this is your first viewing of, like, anything in this entire saga, or you are just kind of, like, watching certain parts or whatever else, then you probably won't get the amount of context that's going to happen. So I'm going to try and provide as much context for those of you who don't feel like going out of your way to watch, like, God knows how many other videos. Like, there's like 16, now 17 videos in this entire series, spanning over like almost 6 hours at this point. So I can understand why you wouldn't want to sit through an entire 6-hour-long playlist of, you know, the most insane, like, you know, one-sided battle that's ever been seen. But let's get into this one. It all started off with apparently a message towards somebody that Shadowraven was talking to. You know, the inside guy, but obviously Shadowraven didn't know that. In which he basically says, that's going to be a negative on that. My hands are tied up enough as it is. I'm trying to find more people who can help me and are willing to participate in a raid party. But this list I created this morning should give you an idea of the people I want to go after with the raid party once I find more people who want to join in. Ashval Dude is definitely on that list. I didn't forget about him. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind, it has been almost a month since I last talked about him. He said that he was going to be quitting and that he was going to be fucking off, and hell, I believed him since he quite literally nuked his Rumble. Like, I genuinely thought that he was finally done, but I guess apparently over this last month he has let his hatred of me fester inside of his head, his tiny little bird brain, if you will, to the point where he has now created a fucking hit list. I wish I was making this stuff up. It is actually unironically called the hit list. Let me just show it to you and all the people that are on it, or at least used to be on it before he basically kind of, I guess, gave up on it. It's really goofy. So, of course, on this list, we of course have all the archive channels, including the Archivist TikTok, which I feel like I should mention. I have no control over the Archivist. I'm not any of the Archivists. They just kind of do their own fuck-ass thing, and the most I've really done is just kind of say, hey, you can archive my stuff, and of course kind of tell them to kind of re-upload some of like, you know, what's-his-face, Shadowraven's like old Wokefield videos for a new friend of the channel that was actually interested in seeing it. You might remember him as Tarragon, the guy who was interested in seeing the Wokefield videos because he thought it would have been funny. There you go. If Tarragon comes across this video, the Archivists have your back, buddy. Then, of course, we have my friend, Amatola, who used to go by the name of Domino. We have Rince's alt channel for some reason, Destructor for some reason, Of course, yours truly, and then 2 random motherfuckers that I know absolutely nothing about, and some people who've decided to look into these guys have found absolutely nothing about Shadow Raven Studios on either of their channels, so for all intents and purposes, these just seem to be random people just thrown onto this hit list just for the fuck of it, I guess. I really have no idea. Then, of course, Team Gamer Food, which I've already mentioned in my previous video. I don't stand by them because they're a legitimate fucking troll and harassment group. Obviously, I don't agree with people who decide to try and stoop to the level of the people that I talk about, so obviously I wouldn't stand with Team fucking Gamer Food at all. Then, of course, we have Ashfall Dude, and then Xander Hall. So, of course, those are the main people that are put onto this edgy-looking fucking hit list. This fucking Shadow the Hedgehog-ass color palette hit list. And, this is when, and of course, this next sentence is when things get a little bit funny. Let me read this out for you. I'm gonna try and read this with a straight face. Little do these fuckfaces know, I am aligned with the bigot army. I'm aligned with the bigot army. These little insecure bitches have no idea who they just fucked with. Soon as I form a raid party of my own, they're about to find out the hard way what happens when you fuck with me. Now, of course, obviously, I didn't take this seriously because of just how absolutely goofy this is. Again, this is a man that has been basically obsessing over me and other people that have talked about him, as well as Ashfall Dude, for like anywhere between like the past almost half a fucking year to like almost an entire year, according to Ashfall Dude's side of the entire situation. Like, Ashfall Dude has been putting up with this shit for like the past year. Again, watch one of my previous videos. There's a bit of an interview with Ashfall Dude in like one of the last videos on this entire situation. So if you want more of Ashfall Dude's side, I'll put like the video right here. This is the video, if I remember to put it up there. But of course, he decided to try and spread this hit list around to like other servers, apparently, where he basically states that apparently Cellblock and Crimson sent him there for whatever reason. Yet apparently, also according to Cellblock, he has no connections with Shadow Raven, which, let's put it this way, considering everything that's been going on so far, I kind of have to put a slight extra doubt on that one because of just how overly stupid this entire situation has just become, and the fact that Cellblock seems to be brought up almost every other time that I fucking talk about this. But of course we have another message right here in which he basically states that after this hit list is done, then he is going dark from the internet, and obviously, you know, I didn't exactly believe that, and of course, as I mentioned before, the entire plan ended up completely changing, but you get the point. But of course, there's also this other thing that he had planned, and I'm gonna read this out for you. Perhaps I have a contingency plan for this. I'm thinking about making a video, but it's the last and final one I'm making under this brand name. I already made another burner on YouTube, but this is the last one. After I post it up along later with the hit list, I plan to post in the community post. I am going to abandon the channel and solely use a burner account to come after these people once I get a raid team to start working on the channels I want to go after. Jesus Christ. So I just want you to keep in mind, right? You know, he basically said this in like his like weird voice message to like one of the archive channels. If you don't remember what it is, I'll have it play for you right now.
Now you listen to me, you fucking piece of shit. This is gonna stop. Because what you're doing is going too far. This is gonna stop right now. You keep going with this, things are gonna happen. I will pull your IP address, and I will turn you into the authorities. Because what you're doing right now, it does constitute as harassment. So, you're gonna desist right now, you little bitch, or things will happen to you. Really bad things will happen to you. Guarantee it. So, try to keep going with this, bitch.
But of course, within that death threat-laden message, he basically states that all of this is constituting as harassment. Yet here he is quite literally admitting that he was going to create that old burner account on YouTube, which it doesn't exist anymore, mind you. That's where the community post part of this entire part of the saga comes in here. Don't worry, we'll be getting into that one. But, like, he's quite literally admitting here that, like, his plan is to literally harass and, like, mass report channels that he doesn't like. Again, I want you guys to keep in mind, the worst that I've done is basically troll the man, okay? And this is where some of the context here. For those of you who didn't watch the video, of course, here are literal screenshots. This is an alt account of mine. It originally went under the name of Burner58, in which I basically fed him, like, you know, false information. The only reason why I'm bringing this up is because later on it kind of goes into a little bit of context as to some of his, like, weird, like, almost like schizo ideas of, like, you know, my own powers, which of course, you know, I was only willing to do that, like, once, and probably, like, never again, because I don't care enough about this shit, man. You know, I basically trolled the man, like, a long time ago, and that's probably one of the main reasons why I've been living in his head rent-free, and why he genuinely thinks I'm harassing him, when in reality, ever since then, all I've really been doing is just documenting his stupidity. Hell, I literally stopped talking about him for, like, a month after, like, you know, I made that last video, and then, like, the only time which I made a video after that was when he decided to debate me. You know, in that 40-minute long debate in the final nail. Like, I feel like that one is probably one of the best debates. I'm going to probably do a retrospective on this entire situation in the near future, as I mentioned beforehand, because there's some things that I would love to change in terms of my approach in this entire situation, and some people that I really need to tell off for kind of inadvertently making this situation not that much better, but of course, now we actually get into the community posts on this one. So, of course, we're going to be kind of jumping around here between, like, Discord and community posts. Why do I have this? We're going to be kind of jumping around between Discord and community posts here because of just how silly this ends up becoming. But overall, it's kind of like, it's really funny. So first things first, we of course have this particular community post in which he says, "The people I'm going after. You want to talk about consequences? The consequences I'm about to deliver onto all of you who are on the hit list. You're not going to like at all." And of course, as you can see here, his fucking YouTube channel name, which I didn't notice while I was taking the screenshot here, but he went by, it was originally titled, you know, Shadow Raven, obviously, but he decided to change it to the Punisher. There's so much edge right there that I genuinely feel like I'm bleeding at this moment. But yeah, of course, attached to this entire, community post is, of course, the hit list that I already went over earlier. But of course, that's where that community post comes in. But then, of course, he makes a few other community posts which are extremely silly, which I think happen after, like, the call that he had with Rince and my friend Momo, which I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. There's one clip that I just kind of want to talk about here, which of course kind of ties into a lot of other things that he's been doing here that he tries to deny, which is, of course, well, the fact that he tries to make, like, death threats. Well, he doesn't exactly try to deny it, but he tries to dance around the fact that he even did it in the first place. But, like, it's extremely fucking silly, but, like, he quite literally tells my friend Rince to off himself. If you don't believe me, here's the clip.
Too, so you're just as at fault as they are.
I love the, like, the little, like, quiver in your voice as you were about to, like, cry or some shit. No, but dude, okay, like...
Dude, go off your fucking self.
Oh shit, telling a 17-year-old to kill themselves. That's, let me note that real quick.
I mean, I guess judging by this clip, I can understand why that Sneedanon guy on Twitter genuinely wants to be along with this guy. They both really like to make insane fucking death threats towards myself and anyone that I'm associated with, so... But of course, in another community post, he basically states, "Don't sit there and lie to my face. Screenshots and videos don't lie. Only subhuman scum like you tells lies." In which, like, he shows off a screenshot here. I don't even think I have the original thing actually saved for some reason. I forgot to save it. But it was like a screenshot of, like, somebody's comment section. I think it was either mine or Destructor's, where, like, the archive channels are, like, talking there and we were, like, interacting with them. Because, heaven forbid, we interact with our fucking audience, and especially we interact with an audience that is, like, somewhat helped us in, like, you know, uncovering just how insane this guy actually is. Like, heaven for fucking bid. And of course, there's another one where he says, "Oh yeah, I know you helped them too. You sit there like the hypocrite you are, telling everyone that you just want this to stop. Yet here you are, associating with them in your life. Again, don't sit there and lie to my fucking face about it. I know your entire organization was helping them." In which, once again, he just shows off similar evidence, but this time it's my friend Amatola's, like, live stream chat where the archivists were there. I feel like at least kind of bringing up the entire thing of, well, we wanted this to end. Again, I was the first one that wanted this to end. In fact, I literally stopped making videos on you after I made, like, you know, the downfall of Shadow Raven Studios, and then you decide to come back and try and debate me, which of course led to another video. Then you fucked off for a little bit after that, for about like a month, and then you decide to fuck off after uploading Lolicon onto your channel, in which, again, I left you alone for about a week, but then you came back, threatened to strike people, fucked off again, I stopped talking about you after you nuked everything, and now you're back again. In fact, you're so back that you decided to try and raid my fucking server. Because after I decided to troll him a little bit within, like, these comment sections right here, I'll show off a couple of screenshots of, like, you know, me responding to some of his insane comments that he decides to make towards me. He, basically, you know, kind of goes a little bit off the rails, where he basically says, "Something is wrong with these people. I'm literally sitting there making threats to this guy, and him and his goons are still acting stupid." Again, I feel like the call is coming from inside the house there with acting stupid, but whatever at this point, okay? I guess we're not dealing with, like, the smartest individual. But of course, here's another message right here from Discord where he says, I just broke into his server. Where's my backup? These assholes are all over my community posts, and it's a lot of them. Again, he attempted to try and raid my server, to which it was mainly just him, which ultimately eventually led to the call that I mentioned earlier, where he makes various different threats and doesn't really try to back up anything, and then he rage quits the call, just like every single other debate that he's ever been in, involving myself, Rince, or anybody else that's even loosely associated with this entire fuck-ass situation. But yeah. But anyways, on to like the video itself, because there's one other thing that I feel like at least mentioning, and I'm going to read out a community post from the archivist that actually addresses this, okay? And there was this wild fucking claim that was made by Shadowraven, which, mind you, before this community post ended up coming out, we had absolutely no idea if it was even true or not. And that is, of course, this weird-ass claim that apparently, like, the archivists or something along those lines decided to try and, like, use, like, Shadowraven's actual face and voice for, like, AI deepfaked porn or something like that. But, well, about that, and here's a community post talking about that. It's gonna be a long one, so strap in here. I guess since he came back feebly swinging, there's one allegation that needs to be addressed, and that's the idea that we use AI for some fuck-ass, nasty-ass shit like not safe for work content, and putting his voice work through it, and whatever the hell else you'd imagine you could do with AI that you can hypocritically accuse someone of doing while you yourself are using the same things. I can easily debunk all of this for sanity to see, alongside a funny story of how this happened. So here's the short version of this. No, we don't use AI, we never intend to use AI, and by predetermined factors, it was impossible for any of us to use AI in any way in the first place. We have a member strongly against AI content, and one of the reasons why they went after him the way that we did with the archival is because Shadowraven Studios uses AI-generated content, and later on down the line has unironically professed to being into AI-generated women. And even in the smidgen of a chance that one of us did want to use AI for something silly, we had no idea how to, or at the very least hardly knew the right direction to turn in terms of AI-generated content to make even the subpar type of stuff without said member being around, so go figure on that. So why is that Shadowraven Studios thinks they're working or are members of Team Gamer Food? So glad you asked. Prior to the destruction of his fourth channel, Shadowraven was making threats to a 17-year-old, as you would imagine, and in the heat of the moment, Shadowraven had the bright idea of threatening Amatola with Team Gamer Food, making it sound like he himself knows and works with these people, attempting to give her the idea that he was going to sick the group onto them. Spoiler alert, that was a fucking lie. To Shadowraven's inconvenience, we found his old channel on a funny little site, and it turned out not only he fought with these people, it was a canon event origin story of his god complex that we're so familiar with. So number 4, absolutely done with his shit, took both the two-part videos into one shot, uploaded them, and asked Shadowraven if this was him. Since we have witnessed the world's longest short-term temper tantrum, 4 has taken his silence as an indefinite yes. And of course, I guess that extends to why he apparently thinks that I'm working with Team Gamer Food, despite the fact that, again, I've disavowed their actions. Like, I don't know what else you would want from me other than me, like, I guess, deciding to become Shadowraven and decide to harass Team Gamer Food for whatever reason. But again, since I'm not Shadowraven, and I'm strongly against stooping to these guys' level, well, go figure on that one.
I feel like I should just interject right here and kind of cover this claim as well. I know, it's a weird interjection, but I'll cut back to, you know, regular sanity here in just a minute here. But, like, he tries to claim that I was, like, in support of, like, this weird anecdotal bullshit that he, like, brings up within, like, you know, that he brings up within, like, the second debate that we had with him. Now, for those of you who have absolutely no idea, we didn't even get any actual proof of this supposed event actually happening that he was describing.
Just because there was one incident during a pride parade doesn't mean that an entire group of people can be written off as bad. Okay, Shadowraven, let me ask you this, okay?
But he was still supporting it.
Shadowraven, hang on, wait. I want to ask you a question, genuine question.
How do you explain that?
I just explained it to you, but hang on, let me ask.
But the funny thing is that literally within the exact same segment where he brings that up, I quite literally state, okay, if that did happen, then I don't agree with it. And if you don't believe me on that one, let me play you the actual fucking clip.
Here, what is your reasoning behind that? Like, what is your reasoning to the point where you think if a minor sees a gay flag or like a trans flag or a pan flag, what is your reasoning behind it being, in quotation marks, grooming?
Because
would you like
just
to
recently, they had videos going around, surfacing, and it's not just in Canada either, it's in the West.
Mm-hmm.
Canada is in the West, but go on.
Go on.
Okay, they had a Pride Month.
Okay.
And the people who were participating in the Pride Month were naked.
Okay.
Source?
And they had kids present there. Cops didn't do anything. Nobody did anything.
Okay,
That's
this
inappropriate.
just sounds extremely anecdotal to me, so I don't know how this proves anything.
Okay, this is.
But
this
if that is the
same
case, then obviously that's not fucking okay, and I don't really agree with that.
But of course, after the release of the, the call that ended up happening within my server, which I wasn't part of, largely because I was at work during that day. Yeah, I had a scare acting job, which recently ended. I'm hopefully going to be able to get another job at the same park here relatively soon, because it's also retail and it's right up my alley, so I could just tell them that. But, this is like some of the goofiest stuff ever. But anyways, here we have this post on Discord where he says, yeah, this is no use. Even if I make a video, nothing is phasing them. I'm literally sitting here making full-blown death threats to them and nothing is budging them. I'm going to tap out on this one. If this is going to end up getting me into more trouble than it's worth. If I make a video, I'm very concerned that this is only going to make circumstances even worse. I'm waving the white flag on this one, and I thought trolls back in the day were stupid, but these guys are worse. But you're right on something. Cellblock evidently has something against Asphalt Dude. I can see why Cellblock has something against him. Asphalt Dude has surrounded himself with a circle of idiots. Again, the call is coming from inside the house, Shadow Raven. But anyways, this ends up leading into something really funny that ended up happening. So, a good friend of the channel and a good friend of mine, Paper, ended up actually kind of getting into contact with the guy for a little bit, and it led to some really funny little things that ended up kind of occurring as a result of this one. But of course, a little funny thing that ended up happening is, of course, him thinking that, like, I ran, like, some sort of account to get some of the screenshots I've shown off within this video, namely the ones from Discord and whatnot. Well, funnily enough, no. I'm not the one behind that account. It's a little individual that goes by the name of, once you believe it, Lurks in Forums. You know, the guy from, like, the second part of this entire saga, you know, the second video where you brought up the guy that, like, basically, caused the entire meme of you being the Skyrim feet guy. Yeah, you know that guy? Yeah, guess what? That was him! That was him! I didn't run that account. That was him, you dumb bitch. But yeah, apparently he genuinely thinks that just because I used Burner 58 to troll him back in the day, then that means I'm doing the exact same thing now. Now, of course, would I do that? Probably not nowadays. That was a one and done deal, let's put it that way. That's a thing that I only really plan to do really once, and then not really ever try to do it ever again, because honestly, not only but despite the fact that it was unbelievably funny, let's put it that way, the comedy factor is still there, it's something that I really do not feel like I should need to go through the effort of doing ever again, because, again, it was mainly just there, just so that way I could prove that this man could just believe literally fucking anything that was sent to him, as long as it was sent to him by some crony that was, like, loosely on his side or anything along those lines. Like, it was really fucking stupid. But, of course, ever since then, he has basically stated that he plans on, like, running away, if you will, changing his name or something like that once he's taken at least a well-deserved break from YouTube, or just the internet in general. And all I can really say to that one is, fucking I hope so. I hope that he actually bothers to just shape up and get the hell out of here. Again, there are some things that I would like to change, namely of, like, a few other idiots that didn't really help the situation, to be honest. But, like, it's just unbelievably sad at this point. Like, there's really nothing else to say about it. But, anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like. That's very well appreciated. Leave a comment down below what you thought about the video, what you want me to talk about next, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to see more content such as this. Also, go ahead and follow me on Twitter, join the Discord server, and also I have a Blue Sky if you want to follow me there. Also, special thanks to my amazing channel members, MadFox94, Jade, and of course a new one, Nemesis. Thank you very much for becoming amazing channel members, and I hope to see your continued support. Anyways, if you guys made it to this point in the video, I don't know, I guess, comment nameless deity. There you go. Comment nameless deity, okay? This guy, right here. But yeah, anyways, guys, this has been Sandy, and have yourselves a nice day.